Is in Chirikova with Millionaires Are Made. Welcome to this awesome show. I'm so excited to be here. It's my first time hosting it. I'm so excited and a little bit terrified. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have three guests, Shawn, Nikki, and Paul. And we're going to talk today about spiritual health, the topic of hope. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is a show built on the fundamental beliefs that, first, every person you meet knows something that you don't, and there is something to be learned from everyone. We are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all six aspects of life. They say it's all about teaching a man to fish, and we take that literally. So we got three awesome guests to give three awesome tips on how to improve your spiritual health with hope. In the spirit of authenticity, we did not talk about tips or advice before the show starts. I'm from Ukraine, forgive my English. We all keep it real, no bias, no persuasion, just three awesome people sharing from their journey. The host doesn't even know the guest until 15 minutes before. Audience, please comment and ask questions. We answer them live. Guests, if you have a piece of advice or any sort of expertise, we want you. Come be on our show, sign up at the link below. Topics, have something holding you back, feeling lost? Let us know what topic you want help with, and we will find three awesome guests to give you a bit of advice. If you like what we do, send stars or share, like, subscribe. TikTok, YouTube, merch, and courses are available. This episode is sponsored by Sarah McJones. Buried in debt and failing marriage, Sarah McJones found a better way to handle money and now helps others to do the same. As a financial coach, she guides couples, individuals, and small businesses to build fun, healthy money habits. Learn more at keepingupwithjonesfc.com. Parent Win Solutions, Lori's business. Parenting is tough, and no one warned you that half of it feels like guessing. Parent Win Solutions is partner you wish you had on day one. No lessons plans to memorize and no videos to binge. Just simple steps that cut stress and help you connect with your child without losing your mind. If you want a calmer home and a guide who actually gets what real life looks like, this is your place. Bonnie Hardy. Meet Bonnie Hardy, your women's empowerment coach in Atlanta, Georgia, specializing in mindset, gratitude, and personal development. Bonnie offers a unique approach, combining vision boards with the wheel of life. Plus, she manages an Atlanta Airbnb property on site. Connect with Bonnie for holistic empowerment today at facebook.com/bonnieshardy. Brian K. Wright. If you want to get your brand in front of high-level entrepreneurs and personal growth leaders, reach out to Brian at Ultimate Achievers Magazine, where industry icons meet a content-first audience. At ultimateachieversmagazine.co. Followers for Hope, Facebook Jennifer Jenkins, Instagram Pamela, TikTok Keep It Blunt, YouTube Shawn Bemis. So what we do now is we're gonna invite one guest. First will be Shawn, and Shawn's gonna tell us who he is and share his amazing tip on the topic of spiritual health, hope. And after that, we will move to, and also he will tell us where he learned this. And after that, we will move to a next guest. Oh, here he is. Hi, Shawn. How are you?
Hey, Ina, how are you? Thank you for having me here today. I'm coming from the chilly area of Franklin, Tennessee, where we just got through our first ice storm. And my wife and I and my daughter have moved here from sunny South Florida. So it's our first winter in almost 11 years. It's kind of interesting. And I've been in this industry for about 20 years. I go by the mental mechanic. I love working with people who, are very successful on paper, but when it really comes down to it, behind the scenes, they're burnt out. They're not connected to their family and friends, and they're really trying to find the meaning of why they're doing what they're doing. So thanks for having me here. I love this topic about spirituality and where it comes from. So I'm looking forward to this.
Definitely. So, would you mind to tell us, like, who are you?
So I have a company called Structured Freedom. I'm a husband and a father. My parents live in Florida. My brother's in Texas. And I've been in the, I would say, life coaching world for 20 years. I'm also a certified medical hypnotherapist. So I put all this together to create the foundation called the mental mechanics. So what are the things that you do to help you think clearer and better when it comes to getting results for yourself and your clients and your business?
This is awesome. I love that.
Thanks.
I'm such a fan of hypnotherapy. I listen almost every day to hypnosis sessions recorded, and whenever I have a chance, I go to get them. And I used to do them for my clients, but then I switched to energy work. So, can you please share with us the tip on the topic of hope in spiritual health?
So I think it's interesting how we're bombarded constantly in social media, in media in general, things that shock our system. And usually it's based out of fear and anger because they're trying to get a result. And this thing about hope is, if you realize we all weren't born to be here just to take up space and be negative and be angry and be fearful. We were put here to take whatever talent we figure out that God's given us and share it with the world so that we can cultivate better community, we can support each other, and then we can share a unique gift with everyone that inspires ourselves, at the same time inspires other people. And the adage that I've always just recently adopted, and it's one of these huge metaphorical type things where instead of pouring from your cup, pour from the saucer. Meaning, pour from the saucer that the cup sits in, because that's the overflow of you. And a lot of times we pour from the cup and we get almost empty and we're like, what's here for us? And I think the big thing is taking care of yourself in such a positive way that you have more energy to take care of other people, and realizing sometimes you need to pull yourself back to recharge. And that's the hope that I really want people to understand. It's not that we're saying no to them sometimes. It's what we're saying yes to us first. But we need to really build up that energy and that spirituality so we have more to share, because we only have so much energy throughout the day, and when you're constantly being pulled by other people, we forget to recharge. And I think that's a huge portion of why success happens and failures happen, is we have to take care of us, and then we can take care of so many more.
I love that. And where in your life journey did you learn your tip?
So growing up, I was raised Catholic, and I always, you knew exactly what time of year everything was going to be said. And it was like, okay, you get there, everyone's holding hands, okay, and then when you leave, everyone's like in a rush to go somewhere. Going, why isn't this being taken outside of here? So later on, I started going to non-denomination churches, and I really got into, okay, what is the purpose of this? And there's small groups, communities, people coming together, people that were never around religion before. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Religion is something, but each of these non-denominational churches had a different way of doing it. And I realized it's faith that you have to have in yourself and humanity. And all people who are seeking out community to connect are spiritual. And I realized, like, not one is better than the other. They're all just a little different. And the differences, like with people, are what's most important. And it's not about, well, I do it this way, we do it that way with a tone. It's, hey, we do it this way, how do you do it? And it's leaning in and asking questions and realizing we're more similar than we are different. And I think that's the part that I learned a lot by going to different churches and learning about different religions and different ways that people create energy through Qigong I've done and Tai Chi.
Oh,
they're all similar.
Oh my God.
They're all similar, but they're all different, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's where I got my insights from.
This is so cool. Oh my God, that resonates personally with me so much. I literally do Qigong and like every day. Such
Yeah.
fun. yeah, generation energy and grow in it, and then see how you can go through life with so much ease instead of feeling stuck all the time. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and again, talking about it with clients all the time, you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, I got to do it for myself too." So you got to remember,
Exactly.
like, oh, I got to do some breathing, some meditation, some prayer, some, gratitude list, journaling. They're all very similar. They're just given a different title to fit that niche that people want it to be in.
Yeah, one of my coaches called it miracles journaling. I love that so
Yeah,
much. Like you put all of the miracles in there, and then you attract more of them. I love it. Shawn, it was awesome. Thank you so much. We'll see you in
you're
a
welcome.
little
Thank
bit.
you. Mhm.
And now we will see here Nikki. Yay! Hi, Nikki. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Ina?
Very good. Thank you. Awesome to have you here. Can you please tell us in any words, however you wish, who are you?
I am Nikki Allen. I am a singer, songwriter, philanthropist, author, filmmaker. I'm all those things. Basically, anything with vision, I'm a visionary. How about that? Sum it up.
This is awesome. Wonderful. I'm actually a singer and songwriter myself as well. This is so fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. I didn't publish it yet, but in Ukraine, education is free. At least you really can get it for free. So I got masters in history, and then life was kind of boring, and I got a bachelor's in opera singing. So I love singing. I do it like all day long.
Awesome. Yeah, I have an album out that came out many years ago, and I had 5 songs on the Grammy ballot. And then I've had one song chart on iTunes. I was releasing my second album back in 2018, 2019. Then COVID hit, and then we only got a single out of that. So I'm actually getting ready to release my new single probably April, May of this year. I'm so excited
Oh
about
my
that.
God, this is
Yeah.
super exciting. I'd love to be in touch and hear more and the music and everything. So, can you please share with us the tip for today on the topic of hope and spiritual health?
Ooh, hope and spiritual help. Hope, I've been through a lot in my life, and I used to get mad at God, like, why do you dangle these carrots in front of me in order to keep me going? Basically, it's like, and I'll use the music industry as an example. I came out here to be a singer. I'm in LA, by the way, and I, have let's say an audition, and we get there, and then something happens, and then there's that letdown, right? And in the industry, it's a lot of no's. So how do you keep that hope? I'll share a deep story. Many years ago, things just weren't going well for me in the industry. And I decided I had made a plan and a date to end my life. And I told God, I was like, you got to change it. You got to change it. And ironically, but just like God is, he stepped in and I ended up going to Singapore and lived for a while and performed there in Asia, but that, I call it that I used to get mad, like, why do you just dangle these carrots? I'm trying to get here. But that is the hope. That is the hope. And you have to have that on this journey, because I wouldn't be the me I am now without all the stuff that I've been through. I love what Shawn said about, and I'm kind of switching a little bit, but it was so important because I talk about this as well. He says you got to take care of yourself before you can take care of others. And I always say it's just like being on an airplane. When you get on that airplane, what do they tell you before you take off? If the oxygen mask come down, take care of yourself and then take care of somebody else, because if you aren't good, you can't help anyone else. So I thought that was great. Everything though is about you. You are becoming, if you will. You will always be becoming. Let that be the hope, knowing that wherever you are, whatever you're going through in your life right now, it's just to build you up to be the better person later. It really is. If you really take the time to explore it. And I tell my daughter this all the time because she gets so frustrated. She's in her 20s. I would never do my 20s again, ever. But got to go through it to get further.
Right.
But
Yeah.
all the things that she's going through, I'm like, this is to help you. This is teaching you, and you're becoming. it's okay to become, know that that's what you're hoping for, to keep becoming, you know.
I love that so much. Oh my God. And it holds such a beautiful energy to that. In such situations in life, I always feel like I'm a tree and that like a new branch is coming out and it's so painful in the moment. But when you know that it's just like for your highest good and you grow and you expand, and yeah, it's really painful, but it's like, it's literally like a branch on the tree, you know? Yeah. And where
Yeah,
did you learn? I
absolutely.
guess from your life experience mostly, but if there is anything else you'd like to add on, where did you learn this tip?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like Shawn, I grew up Catholic, but even before I knew what that was, I've always felt attached to God, and I didn't understand what that was. And as I got older, we switched religions. We were United Church of Christ, which was amazing. But as I got older and I started understanding and my spirituality and my own personal relationship with God, um, that's just kind of how I made that transition through, like he said, going to different um, churches and I wouldn't say studying different religions, but acknowledging different religions, to the point where I'm actually putting together a global event for 2028 called the One Summit. And what the One Summit is pretty what Shawn mentioned, that no one has the whole blueprint of God, right? Or heaven. Everybody is different. The One Summit is where God is one manufacturer, and we're all in different cars trying to get to him, and no one is right. I think we all have a piece of it. So the One Summit is trying to bring everyone together, gather at the table, because I think if we all come together with what we know, we'll have a little bit more understanding of God. No one has the blueprint on who God really is. So that has been my journey, and this is what is coming out of it, this thing called the One Summit.
Wow, I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing all of that. You truly bring amazing energy, and I personally, I just cannot wait to connect more.
Oh, thank you.
um, Thank you, Nikki. We will see you in a little bit, and we will have Paul here now.
Okay.
Hi,
Hello.
Paul. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's great to be here.
Thank you for being here for sure. So, tell us in any way you'd like, who are you?
Yeah. So I currently am full-time volunteer ministry, which means I haven't received a traditional paycheck in 7.5 years. I've been doing ministry for 20 years. And so I've had to navigate this idea of hope a lot. But what I really feel called to is to cultivate authentic, accessible space to process this crazy life that we're trying to figure out. For those who are trying to figure out God, let's process who God is, who he's created us to be, and what that means for today. But man, even if someone doesn't know what they think of God, we have these deep, deep questions that we're struggling to understand. And so through content, books, my podcast, through community, and through just serving my neighbors, I'm striving to create that space uh, because we're all trying to figure this out together.
This is unbelievable. It's episode like I'm almost crying. Like it's so I've never I've been on this show, I don't know, 6, 7 times, but this emotional like never. Like oh my god, this is awesome. What is the one, I want to say, big tip on hopes that you can share with us?
Yeah.
No
You
pressure,
know,
you
it's interesting that y'all listed this as spiritual health and not intellectual health. And my
know.
big tip is we need to stop treating hope as an intellectual thing. There's a passage that I was thinking of, Romans 8:24. It says, "Now hope that is seen is not hope at all. For who hopes for what is seen?" Like we treat hope as though it's something that we can grasp, we could see, we can map out. But the very nature of hope is something that is not intellectual, that sometimes defies logic. And when we are trying to approach it in an intellectual way, that's when we run into frustration, disappointment, hopelessness. Uh, But the fact that y'all listed this as a spiritual health component, it means to pursue hope, we're invited to pursue it in a very different way, to pursue it in a way that's almost outside of ourselves. For those that believe in God, like I do, part of that is coming to understand, as scripture put it, his ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts. So if that's true, then maybe I don't have all the information, or maybe all the hypothetical outcomes that I've mapped out. Maybe there's another outcome that would never have crossed my mind. And so my encouragement for people is I really believe that there is much more beyond what we see, much more beyond what we understand. And so if you want to grow in spiritual health around this topic of hope, stop pinning it and leaning it completely onto your intellect and your logic, and open yourself to the possibility of something beyond your understanding.
Oh my God, this is awesome. I love that. Like every word of that. Thank you so much for it. Can you share with us where did you learn this tip?
Yeah. So I mentioned 20 plus years of ministry, 7.5 without a paycheck. There have been a lot of moments where I've kind of projected out why I felt God was calling me to a certain way, or why I should do this certain thing. And so many moments that did not pan out the way I expected, the way I had hoped, the way I assumed. And yet I was able to keep going. Or yet I found joy in the midst, or yet I found peace in the midst. And it's through those life situations that I realized, man, I really don't have as much a grasp on reality as I thought. The best way for all of us to realize we've learned this is to think back to our youth, and to those times where we were so confident around something, so confident around what we needed, or confident around what was happening. But now as adults, we look back and we're like, oh man, I did not understand. I thought I had a grasp on life when I was 8, but my 8-year-old brain did not understand life. If that's true when we were kids, why would that not still be true as adults? Why do we assume that as adults we've arrived, when in reality, every day we encounter something that doesn't make sense to us? If we can approach life with humility, we're able to actually approach life more in a healthier way. And so I've learned this through those experiences, but if I'm honest, I'm still learning this because I'm still hitting those walls where I'm tying my hope to my intellect. But fortunately, I believe in a God who has a lot of grace and mercy for my stupidity and a lot of patience as I'm learning slowly.
Please don't say these words about yourself. Oh my God. Positive self-talk. Right? Thank you, Paul. I think, I don't know if you're staying here and we're bringing other guests, or you're disappearing and we're bringing everyone together.
We'll find
Let's
out.
It's magic. Yay, you're staying. And Nikki. Okay, we are going to, I guess, questions, or let me just read whatever popped up here. Oh, no, I am slow reader. Get it back. And someone said, we love you. I love you too, guys. And thank you so much for being here. So if there's no words for me to slow read, then we will just go back. And what we're doing here in this round is you guys go back to your tip, say it in like very few words, and then other two people will be saying like a feedback to that tip. So we will start again with Shawn. Shawn, what was your tip? Just in a couple of words.
I think the big tip is be curious and really look into everything that is interesting, and realize, like Paul said, you got to go out there and figure out this thing. It's not about being intellectually having all the answers. It's a feeling, the gut feeling. It's when you're around other people and you get that warm, fuzzy type of, oh, we're together. What is that? Be curious and lean into it, and realize, like, when you take your foot off the brake and you just let it coast sometimes, you're going to find the answers when you least expect them. There's an amazing book called The Alchemist. I don't know if anyone's ever read that, about a young guy traveling, and he thinks it's supposed to be one way, but it turns out to be much better. And I think that's the whole thing about life, is work through it, the ups, the downs, it's all going to be there, and enjoy this ride, because you don't know how long you have.
It's a great book. I love the book, and I love you too. So, Paul, what do you like your comments on the tip of life?
Yeah, I like what you noted about taking your foot off the gas and letting yourself coast. I mean, the question that raises is, what's the rush? Like, what is our rush to feel like we have to figure this out? We have to arrive. We have to understand. To be fair, part of that rush is we don't like discomfort. We don't
Mhm.
like hardship. We want to get out of that as fast as possible. But what I think all of us here on the panel know, and we will continue to learn, is when you get older, you start to realize the positive things that have come from the hardship, the important truths that have come from what we thought was just negative. When we rush through that, we learn nothing and we find ourselves driving through the same muck again and putting on the gas. But man, when we slow up and just embrace that life is working on a different timetable than we are, we might discover a whole lot more outside of ourselves than we expected.
This is awesome. Did I just learn something new in English language? Did you just say slow up? I
I
love that
probably
so much.
don't.
I love that. It has like a different feeling to it than slow down. I love that so much. Nikki,
Mm.
what are your thoughts? Nikki, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Did you say something?
Yes. I was asking like what are your feedback to all of this?
Oh, mine is give yourself some grace. I say this all the time. You know, we beat ourselves up because going through this journey, like both of them said, you know, you're going to hit these speed bumps. You're going to, and if you don't learn that lesson, you will keep going in that circle again. But give yourself some grace because you're still going. That is the key. Just keep going. You have to keep going to get to that other side. But I love what Paul said. Like age is the best teacher too, because once you get past something and you do look back, I was laughing when you said that. Like I can go back to my 20s when I knew I had it all figured out. Yeah, why is everything going crazy? But that I didn't know anything. I look back, I was like, I didn't know anything. But give yourself some grace. I have to give myself some grace just for the stupid stuff that I've done, the stuff that I didn't understand. You know, give yourself some grace because that is why I am who I am now. Giving myself grace, allowing myself to make mistakes, and sometimes I needed to repeat a lesson. I had one, I think I went through that a few years before I was like, oh, okay, that's what you're saying, God. But give yourself some grace.
I love that. Thank you, Nikki. Shawn, can you reflect on that a little bit?
When it comes to, I mean, grace is an interesting word because people are like, oh, it's so religious. No, it's not. It's just, don't beat yourself up. Just sit there with it. Realize, like, what is perfection? Nothing in life that's perfect is interesting. There's this huge movement towards this food thing. It's imperfect food. Go to your grocery store and look at all the perfect food. Well, look at all the stuff that's grown that's imperfect looking, but tastes so much better. I think that's the whole thing is social media has just put this filter on everything, right? Our lives are perfect. And then we get behind the scenes and we're like, be real with people. That's where grace is. Be real. Like what you're going through. The hardest thing I think I hear people say, so how's it going? Oh, it's going good. Like that is so surface. Stop. Get to know people. Give yourself permission to be vulnerable. And that's when you start to realize everyone's going through something. You're not alone.
Definitely. Paul, you'd like to add something to that?
Yeah, part of our issue with receiving and extending grace is an issue with value and identity. A lot of times we don't feel like we deserve grace, or we've done that we spent years doing that bad thing, and so now like our value is diminished. And
Mm.
so we have this idea pressed into us that you only have value if you are perfect, if you are doing all the right things, if you are progressing forward. And if you're doing the opposite, then it is the opposite. You don't have value. Your identity is nothing. Uh, and it's just not true. That's just not true. The sooner that we embrace that our value and identity is tied to something beyond what we do or don't do, the sooner we'll be able to embrace grace. But this is the other piece. We might lean into that because of how it benefits us, but we are also all called as humanity to do this outwardly for others as well. Just as we question our own value and identity, we will question the value and identity of others, and we will not extend them grace. And let's be honest, we live in a time where it's very hard to extend grace. There's a lot of rough stuff happening. We're talking about hope. There's a lot of legitimate reasons people feel hopeless. But man, if we come to understand this deeper reality of who we were created to be, what we're created for, this inherent value, this beautiful identity, then we're going to treat ourselves differently. We're going to treat others differently. And then collectively, we're going to live differently.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Guys, let me figure out what are we doing next. We need to come up with a daily challenge that takes 5 minutes. It's free of charge, but also I'm trying to monitor if they have messages from the audience, and that's where I need to read. So, okay, we read all of the sponsors here. The brand store is on Millionaires Are Made printify.me, and then okay, I guess there's no messages from the audience that I can see. So let's move to that creating daily changes. I'm trying to figure out if we are supposed to type it somewhere. I don't know, but we definitely are creating it. So I'll start with Shawn. The idea what we are doing right now, all of us together here, is what one person can do every single day that costs zero money and takes no more than 5 minutes in a day to build, I would say, hope, but also we brought so many other things here like self-love and grace and like all of the things that we had talked about. So whatever, like all together as much as possible, we can pack it into those 5 minutes. So Shawn, we will start with you with like I don't know, specific steps that person can literally take. Okay.
Sure. So I think people always talk about, journaling and writing and getting their day set, but it really starts the night before. Is just sitting down and I call it a gratitude list. Like write down the positive things that have happened throughout the day, the interactions you've had with people, cool things you've seen, and let that sink into while you're falling asleep. Then when you wake up, basically just picking one thing you want to focus on that day to improve. I mean, mine right now is drinking water, and people are like, well, why is that such a big thing? If I'm dehydrated, you can have anxiety, you're weaker, you're not thinking clear. When you're hydrated, your body function moves much easier. So I'm like, pick one thing, focus on it, do it for at least a week, see how it's made improvements, and watch how just by writing down your thoughts in the evening and waking up in the morning, how it just starts to build and change in a positive way.
Okay, so it's a gratitude list. How many things you personally would suggest to have on your gratitude list?
One only. That's it. People get overwhelmed. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's too much. Just one thing.
On the
Because that
gratitude
one thing actually makes everything else better as you work on it.
on the gratitude list, to have one thing you're grateful for.
Oh, the thing I'm grateful for, I think, well, a gratitude list, you could put whatever categories you want to create. But the thing is just realize we're all going to be grateful for something.
Right.
But people forget. So whatever you feel comfortable with writing, some people will write 5 minutes, some people go for hours. Just depends upon what they want to think about and talk about to themselves.
Okay, so it can be, I guess, flexible for everyone, because I've been doing my
Correct.
gratitude journal for like 5 months now, and there's like different ways how to do it, but it's definitely not 5 minutes. So I'm not talking about it in details here. Okay, so gratitude list the night before. Well, what is your here? I don't know. Say.
Yeah. We've been talking a lot about how things look one way and we come to realize that it's different, how this is spiritual and not intellectual. And so, what
Mhm.
my advice would be with a simple free tip, takes 5 minutes of the day, is every day find a way to be creative. Creativity pushes us beyond what is, what we think. You're creating something new, right? For the person right now that's like, oh, but I'm not creative. No, everybody's creative. Again, because I believe in God, who is a creator, and we're made in his image. I believe that every single person was created with creativity in them. It might not look artistic, but you can create. So find a way to create every day. So you're training your mind to operate in a different way. And I'll give you a practical example of how this can be really powerful. The last book that I self published is called Missing Chloe. And it's based off of, in November, our cat of 14 years uh, left the house and never came back. And our family was struggling to know how to process, because she was, I mean, the best cat, period. Psh, no argument. And what I realized is we are all navigating this in different ways, and we're struggling with what is hope. Should we hope that she comes back? Is that a false hope? And what we did is, as a family, we used creativity to process, to explore what could she be doing if she never came back. What story could we write to say what she's experiencing? And so my family, from 6 years old to almost 43, created this thing together. Um, and it's been a beautiful way for us to process. And so the simple act of being creative for 5 minutes a day can retrain your mind, but it actually could lead you to spaces like what Shawn mentioned, where suddenly you're pressing into gratitude. Suddenly you're looking at positive things when your mind wants to look at only the negative things. Creativity is more powerful than we realize, and we have more access to it than we assume. So let's press into that and see that how that can change your understanding of reality.
That's awesome. I'm typing it in our private chat. That's the only way I figured out how to do it. And waiting for Austin to tell otherwise. So, gratitude journal night before, 5 minutes to figure out how to create something. And Nikki, it should be 5 minutes altogether. So let's see if we can pack it like. But Nikki, share with us, what is it?
Oh, mine is very quick actually. So, as you mentioned, we've thrown a lot in this basket, and
Yeah.
self-love is one of them that we talked about. And so, really, I feel like if you don't have self-love, all the coaching, all the books, all of this, all of that, they're really great. But if you don't love yourself, you don't have that self-love. It's kind of like putting a band-aid on, those the books, the coaching, the this, the that. So self-love. And so what I would suggest, and I did this for myself and didn't realize that this is actually a hard uh, assignment if you don't have self-love, and that is look in the mirror every day and tell yourself you're beautiful or that you love yourself. It sounds so simple, but I had a moment in my life where I didn't even realize I wasn't looking in the mirror. And when I went to go say I love you, I was looking down. I was just like, oh my gosh, now I can look and go, I'm awesome. But that would be my throw in on this. Look in the mirror. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself you're beautiful. And when you're done with that, give yourself a kiss on the hand. And that's not as easy as you think. Trust me, I'm telling you, if you felt like this, it sounds goofy, it sounds silly, it sounds like, oh, I can do that. But do it. Let's see. Let's see if it is really as easy as you think it is.
I love that so much. I'm doing it daily. So I put few things into a gratitude journal a night before, spend 5 minutes to figure out how to create something. Look in the mirror and say, you are beautiful and I love you to yourself. Thank, uh, thank you guys so much. It's been such a pleasure. I truly hope to connect more with you. I'm big on like networking and connecting. And thank you everyone who's watching the episodes. If you want to throw us some topics to talk about, if you want to be a guest, if you're going to be a guest host, reach out. We're happy to have you here in any capacity. So much love and great energy. Thank you so much for being here.